Is this the... Ooh, okay. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me okay. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to figure it out. We're learning. All right. So it's only going up to... I'm messing with the sound. I don't know if you can hear me. Basically, if the sound's working, what I'm doing right now is I'm just going through and answering some questions that I've gotten in the last couple weeks on YouTube, email, all that stuff. And if there's enough people on here, then you guys can just go ahead and ask me questions and I will answer them here. If not, I'll just answer them and upload this as a normal video with me answering different questions. Hold on, I'm playing with some settings real quick. It says there's one person and I think it's me, so that's okay. All right, well, here we go, I guess. I feel like the audio it won't go up past 2. If that just destroyed, it goes up to 3. I'm normally pretty quiet anyway. Maybe I have that lav mic. Maybe I could connect that. Oh well, it says I'm going with the snowball. There's some junk on it. Whatever. Okay, so CrowdChack07 says, best how-to and review channel. Quick question, is the kink whip for street? So I replied to this comment, and what I said was that the kink whip is very well-rounded. So you can get it, and you can ride street, you can ride dirt, and you can ride park. It's not like the kink switch where it's more street-orientated. It's very well-rounded. The thing is, if you do decide to ride street with it, you're going to want to make sure you get some hub guards and pegs and maybe a free coaster, 4-piece bars, whatever else you need to whatever else you're going to need to make sure that bike is orientated for what you're going to do with it. Dirt example, you might want to get a bigger sprocket, some dirt tires, and make sure you have brakes on there. Okay, but the kink whip really is one of my favorite bikes this year because it's full chromoly, double wall rims, and it's like under $500. It's a crazy good deal. All right, so Teddy K43 says, is the seat height adjustable on the Colt Gateway? And the answer is yes. On almost, on all of these bikes, I'm going to be bold and say it, even though I'm not 100% sure that every BMX bike is adjustable. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. 99.9% of them, you're going to be able to adjust the seat. And this is good because some people like to ride the seat super high, and some people like me like to ride the seat super low. So there you go. Ride or Die says, this is mean. The reviews are stupid without showing the actual product in the video. I don't know what you want from me, man. I'm trying my best, but if you think I have enough money to go out and buy every single bike and then make a review on it, you're crazy, for one, because that's going to cost a crazy amount of money. I don't even make any money doing this. So, I mean, like barely, not enough to buy one bike, let alone 50. So what I'm trying to do is take my knowledge of the specs, of the quality and all that stuff, and give you more information so that you can make a great decision when you're buying a bike, so that you don't get ripped off. Now, eventually, I would like to have the actual bikes or have some B-roll in the bikes, some B-roll in the reviews of the bikes so that you can see what the bike looks like. And if you notice on my most recent Sunday review, I did this by taking their video and putting it in as B-roll. Now, ultimately, I want to do this with all the bikes, but for now, this is what we get. And he said that on like a 2020 2020 Cult Devotion review. It was one of my first reviews. So granted, the quality has improved since then. But it's still not at the level that I want it to be at either. So you didn't hurt my feelings. I agree with you, actually, and I'm working towards that to make them better. Get some water talking. All right. This one, Nandor Bokor Toth. I don't think I said that even remotely right. But he says, I can't choose We the People CRS or Kink Launch. I used a bad bike. I can do bunny hops and fakies, and I broke my bike. I want a new one. I like your videos. First off, thank you. I'm glad you like the videos. Hopefully, I help you out just a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead. I know some of these bikes off the top of my head, but like not good enough. I know the Kink Launch is their lowest bike, but a lot of the times Kink's lower quality bikes are better quality than other brands' mid-level bikes. So I'm over on dougsterbob.com and I just searched CRS and I just searched Launch. Now this is what you can do too when you're looking for a bike, because it's super easy. Look, there's a big search button up in the top right. Click it and search for the bike you want, and I've reviewed it. Now, as of, I want to say August, September, I made a big change in my website and the way that I did reviews. So they're going to be a lot higher quality than they are if you look at the older reviews. But with that being said, I mean, it's still going to work out. You're still going to learn some stuff. Okay, so the Kink Launch is high tensile steel, partially sealed bearings, but it does have a pressed headset. And this is good. I like that. 3 different colors. Okay, 20.25 top tube. That's what I was going for. And the We the People CRS is pretty identical. 26.76 pounds, 2 different colors. Now, see, this is information I can't keep off top of my head. So basically, this is what I would do. Okay, they're pretty similar bikes, and you just need to pick now based off of. Ooh. Actually, I lied. I mean, the CRS has a chromoly top tube. Okay, and that's it, quality wise. Otherwise, it's the same, and that top tube isn't going to make that much of a difference, just because that front end, when you nose case a jump, it's still going to bend in, and the back end's still going to bend when you learn spins. So it's not necessarily a huge difference, especially if there's a big price difference. So the main difference, the Kink Launch is $100 cheaper and it has a little bit lower quality. But at this level, you'd have to really consider, like, if you're doing tricks that are big enough to break the bike, and if you plan to ride for a long time. If you plan to ride for a long time and keep progressing, you're probably going to want to go with the CRS. And if you just want to test out the sport, ride with your friends, then, you know, go with the Launch, because it is a lot cheaper. And it's a little bit lighter, but it's not going to have that same quality. All right. Now, Marvin, what's up, man? Your videos help me so much. Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I started this because when I was learning bikes, it took me so long to learn everything that I know right now. So I was like, well, what could I create that would help other people who are just getting in the sport? So this is what I'm working on. Keeps me real busy. Let's see. One Take or Ernesto. He says, can you review the 2021 Sunday Forecaster Alec Simon Purple? So yes, I have a video. It's on my website too, but I have a video. All the Sunday videos are done. I'm just waiting on some more B-roll from Sunday so that they can be better quality. So I haven't released it yet. However, you can look at on the website, and it's going to be pretty much the same review. The only difference is you don't get to see my face. You just get to read what I wrote. Okay, George Passis. He said he found a used 2020 Sunday Soundwave for $700. Should I jump on that? Is it better quality than the Kink Williams or the Battleship? So the Williams is a high to pro level quality bike, yes. And the Battleship is one of the best bikes that you're going to get in general. It's super good quality. It has, a warranty on the frame, forks, and bars, and so does the Soundwave. Now, I don't think you're going to get that warranty on a used bike, but for $700, that's a really, really good deal, especially if they've taken care of it. If they haven't really taken care of it, you could get a brand new Williams and it would probably be better off. With that being said, I do think that that's a good deal, and man, go ahead, jump on it. Kyle says, what is your favorite mid-level bike now? You say you're going to talk about, or you say you're not going to talk about it in this video. Is there a video in which you do? So I haven't made a video yet, Kyle. What I'm waiting to do is to do a complete video of the 2021 bikes that don't suck, like I did last year with the 2021 or 2020 line. Now, my favorite mid-level bike so far, and I'm pretty much done with all the reviews. I still have to do 2021 stolen bikes, but I don't think there'll be anything crazy in there. But my favorite bike right now is the 2021 Switch for a mid-level bike. It's got full chromoly, double wall rims. It has a free coaster. It has pegs. It's just overall a really good bike, especially for $500. Now, there's lots of bikes with this level of quality, but they're like $600-$700. When I reviewed this bike, I was really impressed that they were able to make it with that amount of quality and then put it out for that price. So that's my favorite mid-level 2021 bike, but you'll see that later in a video when I finally make it. Marvin says, if, say, I'm a pretty high-level bike rider, I'm thinking about getting the Fly Omega 2021 bike. Would you say that's a good choice? It depends what you mean, like, by high rider. What's up, David? So I'm going to double check. It's been a while since I reviewed the Omega. Ooh, yes, the Courage Adams bike. This is a really good bike. So yeah, this is typical high level to even pro level bike with, you can choose between 4-piece or 2-piece bars based on if you get the cassette version or if you get the free coaster version. And this is kind of cool because a lot of times you're stuck with either 4-piece or 2-piece. And there's a big difference in like how they feel and how they handle drops. So yeah, man, if you're riding at a high level, the Omega is a good bike for you, especially if you have the budget for it. I absolutely love Fly because they put a crazy amount of quality into their bikes, but a lot of times they're way too expensive for like the average person to get, or especially like I know when I was starting out, there's no way I'd be able to convince my parents to buy me a bike like this quality. My parents would tell me to kick rocks and go get a job, So if you're fortunate enough, you can afford this, then yeah, man, it's a great choice. I think the white color is very nice. David says, I'm trying to find a good but cheap bike, something under $350. I'm looking for 3-piece cranks, chromoly forks, integrated headset, and a free coaster. For that price, you're not going to get anything, especially with a free coaster. You might be able to find something used. Check Craigslist, and right now Facebook Marketplace is really big. I know some people who are like buying bikes off Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and then upgrading them with a couple different parts and then selling them for profit. So if you're like a young hustler, that's what you could do. Let's see, but David, have you Gap? It's probably a little over your budget, just a little bit. It's going to have a little bit of chromoly on the front end. I think it has a chromoly steer tube also on the forks. And you can get the Gap free coaster version, which has a free coaster. So it's a good beginner. It's almost a mid-level bike, but it's not quite the quality that I'd classify for mid-level. So if you plan to, if you're not doing like tail whips, big 360s, big drops, it's going to hold up really good for you until you get to that level. But usually it takes, a couple of years to get there. And by that point, you're going to be ready to buy a new bike. Yeah, and I don't have the free coaster version reviewed on my website. I mean, it's the exact same, but I'll post that in there. And that's the Gap review. It's the same as the free coaster version. The only difference is it has a free coaster, but that might work out for you. It's decent quality. It's a little over your budget though. Where'd you order it from, Carlos? I was on Instagram earlier, and We the People posted a picture of like the jet fuel colored cranks on the Reason, and they said, "Which bike is this?" And I was like, "Ooh, it's such a sick bike." What color did you get? No, it's Craigslist, not Greg's List, David. Craig. Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, good choice. The black with the oil slick cranks. I think that's dude, it's such a sick color. Let's see my thoughts on it. Hold up, I'm looking at Source real quick to see what they said. I think that I saw that they're going to be in stock on the 20th, and then they ship it out after that. But yeah, dude, I love the black with because it's not like a full oil slick bike. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. Ryan Gutler did it like a while ago when it was first coming out, and that's what Logan Martin's riding right now. But it looks okay, but it's for me it's overkill. But like the Reason, go look it up. Full black with the oil slick, it looks really clean. Yeah, dude. So basically, it's a mid to high level street bike. It's got really good quality. It's got that guard sprocket. So if you get crazy with your grinds on both sides, you're not going to have to worry about breaking your chain or bending your sprocket. So the full chromoly, it's a 20.75, which is, if you're smaller, it's going to feel pretty, it's going to feel really like controlled and flowy. But if you're taller, it's going to be pretty responsive. I don't know how tall you are. But yeah, no, overall, I really like it. I especially like the color. We the People posts, if you don't follow their Instagram, you got to check it out because they post some of the coolest like close-ups of their bikes. I'm going to go in right now. I'm working on the script for the 2021 line, and then I'm going to make a full video like I did with the Sunday video, talking about every single We the People bike. I'm really excited about it because, like I said, I love their bikes. They're a little overpriced generally, but they're good. So, Tide, do you think I should get a free coaster for the long run as a beginner? I mean, I've ridden a free coaster a handful of times, and here's my take on it. Okay, it's really fun. It makes learning fakies really easy, so this is cool. But the thing is, like, you don't want to build a reliance on that. I think it's really important to be able to fakie backwards, like with a cassette, and then also know how to do it on a free coaster, because the more well-rounded you are, the better off you're going to be. One thing I used to do is, instead of buying a free coaster, I'd take my chain off and then ride like that. And what this taught me was it taught me how to pump because I couldn't pedal. So I'd push like a scooter, And without pedaling, you could rip around the park just from pumping, like throwing your weight back and forth on the quarters, on the banks. And but then you also had a free coaster. Now, the only bad thing is you forget that you don't have a chain, you pedal, and you smack your knee on the stem. And then that's no fun. That happens way too often. But if you plan to ride a lot of street and like you have goals of doing half cab bars, half cab whips, and tricks like that that require a lot of like fakie control, then yeah, dude, get the free coaster, because it's a way we express ourselves. Like our style of riding, the way you ride is going to be way different than the way your friend rides. And so if the style of the free coaster is what you like, then get it, because that's all that really matters, right? We're only riding to impress ourselves. It's not going to affect your ability to ride. Like starting out on a free coaster isn't going to affect your ability later on. So there's really not, it's, yeah, dude, it's just up to you and the style you want to be riding. Nandor Boker Toth says the Sunday Primer bike park just for is the Sunday Primer park just only use for park? Yes. The answer, I mean, not really. Okay, you can ride whatever you want with it. You don't have to ride just park. You don't have to ride just street on a street bike. You can ride whatever you want. The thing is, the park bike has a really low standover and a really short chainstay. So this makes the bike really responsive, and just like it's going to feel quick and it's going to be hard to control. So like if you look at people like Corey Walsh, Chase Hawk, oh, what's that? Oh, God, Larry Edgar. Okay, those guys that go really fast and really high, they're not riding these specs. They're riding a bike with a longer chainstay, longer top tube, taller standover, all that, because they want the bike to feel really controlled. Okay, but then you look at guys like Logan Martin, Kyle Baldock, your favorite crazy park riders that can do triple whips, and they're riding bikes with identical geometry as the Primer Park, really short chainstay, all that, because it enhances their ability to spin really fast, whip really fast, and all that. So while it's not just for park, it's going to make park riding, it's going to make technical park riding a lot easier. Vashal Patate, dude, I wish I could pronounce these names. I'm trying my best. Please make a video on the best bikes of We the People. So I'm working on it. It takes me so long to I filmed the videos, the complete review, like videos of the whole bike line. It takes me like a day to film them. And then if I mess up something, I get angry and quit for a while. And then it takes me about 48 hours to edit it. Sometimes I just don't sleep and I just edit it. Sometimes I break it up. It takes me a week. But like I said earlier, I'm working on it, the script for it right now, so that I can just film it and get it out to you. It'll probably be, yeah, like 5 or 6 days. I'll have the We the People bike video all done. I just finished the Sundays line, and it's going to look a lot like Sunday's line. Probably a little better because my mic in the Sunday video was not working, but I've got it figured out now, so it'll work in the We the People video. And they put out videos of all their bikes, so I'll have really good B-roll to go over the screen while I'm talking. So I'm excited for that one. What's up, Dallas? Thanks for coming and saying what's up. You got any BMX questions? Troll R34 says, thanks for everything, man. What you're doing ain't going to waste. It's helped me do my research, and I'm pretty new to BMX. I've always wanted to get into it since I was a little kid, but my dad never agreed. Now, this is sad because I always think about like what would happen when I started riding. My parents bought me a Walmart bike when I was 12 and then a DK bike when I was 13. And like that bike's kept me out of trouble. It's helped me travel. It's helped me meet so many like friends all across the country, right? And I think about this, like, what if my parents wouldn't have let me ride bikes? I'd probably, I don't know, work at McDonald's, like hate my life. I don't know. But I think about this kind of thing and like it genuinely makes me sad. On the contrary, I get parents emailing me, getting bike recommendations for their kid, like for Christmas. And I always say, this is so cool. Support your kids because they can genuinely do great things with this. And so anyway, that makes me sad. But he's got a job now. He's grinding to get his first bike. So he uses my videos as guides to help him know what bike he should get. And he says, I've sent a free bike recommendation thing. So there's a form on my website you can fill out for that. And he hasn't received it yet. Should I expect to get it? Basically, with that form, when you fill it out, it sends me an email with that information. And if your first name's not on there, I think it's like a bot. I think it's spam or whatever, so I don't look at it. And then if your email address is wrong, when I send it out, it doesn't make it to you. The other thing is if you have a Gmail email address, the form, when I send it out, it goes to your promotions tab. So if you guys did that and you don't see it, make sure you double check it, okay? But yeah, let's see. What brand is good? Dylan, I just made a video with the top 6 brands. I left out Sabrosa. A lot of people are mad at me. Sabrosa is still a good brand, but I left it out. Anyway, look for some. Kink's my favorite. Kink is my all-time favorite just because they have a really good quality to price ratio, meaning that like a full chromoly bike with double wall rims is a lot cheaper than like a different brand's bike with the same specs. And the way I kind of judge that is that I feel like Kink is making what they need to continue to grow at a steady pace, and where like Fit. Okay, Fit's probably my least favorite for complete bikes because for $450 you get a complete bike with some chromoly, not full chromoly, and then single wall rims. Where a $450 Kink, the closest one would be like the Kink Whip, and it's full chromoly. It's got double wall rims. It's just got so much better quality, and it's the same price as like a Fit. And that makes me genuinely angry because I feel like Fit is trying to rip people off. But anyway, a little tangent there. Kink is my favorite. Good price, good quality. Okay, anyway. David Dunn wants a bike with a gyro. Yeah, the Gap Free Coaster is your best bet, and then just buy a gyro after, or get like a Primer Park or Forecaster Park. Forecaster Park would be better. I think it's going to be way over your budget though. And then add a free coaster to it. But like the free coaster gyro mix isn't something that complete bikes do, mostly because like the gyros for park and the free coasters generally for street. Aiden Hemmings, he's like in my comments all the time. We're friends on Instagram now because he's so supportive. I love it. He says, I was wondering if you could help me with the BMX problem. I have a Sabrosa Malum 2020 and I cracked the bars. That's crazy because the Malum's a really good bike, but it's 2020. It's a year old. So he's thinking of getting the either the Sabrosa Simo bars or the Colt Crew bars. He's 4'11". He likes to ride more street than park, and he's also trying to stay under $100. Well, that's easy. Most bars aren't more than $100. I wouldn't get the Colt Crew bars or the Simo bars just because they're really tall. And if you're 4'11", I'm pretty sure the Malum's a 21-inch too. So you might have a hard time progressing on that Malum being 21 inches. But just look for any bars, man, that are probably, I'd go 8.25 to 8.5 inch. I wouldn't go with anything taller than that because you're going to have a hard time. Like they're going to be too tall for you and you won't be able to maneuver it. So there you go. David, you want to start with a bike that you can replace the parts. Thanks for subbing, man. I appreciate it. This is my first time doing a live, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm kind of having fun talking to you guys and doing this. So I'm going to start doing this every week, and then I'll just be able to keep answering questions for you guys. If you want to start with a bike, just about any good complete bike. So, and what I mean by good is like good brand. So if you get any kink, even the kink launch, the parts are going to be completely replaceable. Same with like any Sabrosa, any Fit. That's one thing about BMX is that like if you want pink Colt tires, you can put that on almost any complete bike. If you want purple handlebars, you can put that on, again, any complete bike. So with that being said, your best bet is still probably go with the Gap free coaster, and then put a gyro set on, because the gyro set's going to be a lot cheaper than if you went with a bike with a gyro and bought a free coaster, if that makes any sense. So look at the Kink Gap free coaster, look at a gyro set, and then put it on. I'm pretty sure the Kink Gap has gyro tabs, but let me double check. Was a Sunday Forecaster a good choice for first BMX? Luke Smith, is that what you got? Did you already buy it already? Which version? Yeah, so the Kink Gap does have the gyro tabs, and yeah, I don't ride gyro, so I don't know anything about it, but I think you could get a decent gyro set for like $50. Ooh, the Rayford version. I like that, the blue, the frame color. I think it's really sick. Wait, is the Rayford version raw? Yeah, it's that blue color. Yeah, it looks nice. So for your first bike, I think it's a good choice. It's not full chromoly, which is fine. And then it comes with a clutch free coaster. This is an aftermarket free coaster. I've even ridden it. It's a good free coaster, and it's under $500. So yeah, I think you're gonna really like Sunday, because as a brand, like they embody BMX dream. Like they sponsor really good riders, they support them to travel, and they do a lot for the sport. I love Sunday, just like their customer service, the way they carry the brand, everything about it. It's a really good brand overall, and the bike you got's really solid too. It's like I said, it's not full chromoly, it has a longer chainstay, so it's going to feel like really controlled for you. I think you'll have a good time on it. I don't know how tall you are though. It might be too tall for you. It's a 21-inch top tube. So if you're like under 5'7", if you're shorter than 5'7", it might be a little too tall. Ooh, 5'5". Are you still growing? If you're still growing, you'll be 5'7" in a year or so, right? Yeah. So you'll grow into it. I think starting out, it's not necessarily, I talk a lot about different BMX specs, right? Like I wrote an ebook about it, and I talk so much about that. But the main thing is, when you're just starting out, the different specs and the different upgrades, like all that nonsense does not matter as much as spending time on your bike. And what I mean by that is going out, riding your bike, practicing like bunny hops, pulling up, hopping off curbs. That is going to help you out so much more in the long run than getting the perfect sizes, because all that stuff you can change later. But if you don't have like the foundation bike skills, like the basic bike control, you're not going to have a good time, even if you have the right specs. So you're going to grow into the bike. It's going to be fine. Is 5'11" good for a 21-inch top tube? So yeah, 5'11" is like the perfect height that they recommend for a top tube, or for a 21-inch. I'm 6'4". I'm super tall, and I ride a 21. also, and it looks like a little bike. I'm all hunched over it. It's kind of funny. But if I was 5'11", it would fit me a lot better. So yeah, no, that's a good size. You're 14? That's crazy, man. You follow me on Instagram, so or like tag me in something at Dougster Bob so I can check out your skills. That sounds fun. 14 and 6 feet. I follow a guy on TikTok. His name's Dylan, and he's 6'6", and I think he's 16. But like he posts a bunch of videos where his head is at the doorway. It's crazy. Uh, Elias Columber. Is that how I say that? Hey, trying to get into BMX. I've been looking at the kink switch, but kind of worried about the coaster and the 12.75 chainstay. First off, how tall are you? Are you like really small? Because then the 20.75 isn't going to work for you. The other thing is, do you like to ride street? Can you fakie? Do you want to learn fakies? Like what kind of riding do you do? Those are really the two questions. Yeah, 5'7". So the 20.75 is going to be fine. And the 12.75 chainstays, again, it's going to be fine, especially for your size. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the video that I've made about chainstays, but basically a longer chainstay gives you a lot more control. So when you try to spin, it's going to be harder. But when you go really fast and you do big airs, it's going to feel better because it's a lot more controlled. Okay. Now, a shorter chainstay like 12.75 is going to be more responsive. Steering is going to feel quick. Pulling up the bike, I'm trying to. All right, this is your bike, right? And this is your chainstay. So like your wheel's right here, okay? And when your wheel's really close, it loops out really fast. But when your wheel's out here, it doesn't loop out as fast. So you have a lot more like balance point on a longer chainstay. And that's going to help you control manuals, but it's going to be harder to get into manuals. With your size, I think 12.75 is going to feel fine, especially because remember, that's like the 12.75 is centered. So if you imagine this is a chainstay and your hut or your bolts right here, this is center. This is 12.75. So if you pull it out to here and tighten it here, that's about 13 or 12.9. So you can get a little bit extra out of the chainstay based on where you put your wheel. And that'll help you out a lot too, especially just feel it out and see what feels right to you and then move it around based on that. You ride street. So yeah, the coaster I think will be fine for you. I think you'll like it, but if you don't, you could ride it for a while, you could sell it, and you can get something else, but you're going to like it. The problem is finding it in stock. Everything's sold out right now. Actually, I think by the 20th, I think Source is getting in another shipment. So you might be in luck soon. You'll learn fakies pretty quick on a free coaster. I learned fakies by driving up, like riding my bike into the back of my mom's car. And like the height was just perfect. It would hold my wheel. And then I could pull back and it would like come backwards. And then I'd try and fakie. It took me, I don't know, maybe a month of trying it. And then I was able to get it. With the free coaster, you're going to have that slack. So you'll get used to it though. Yeah, don't get scared. The pre-orders are already sold out. Yikes. Yeah, I figured they, let's see. I don't know what your budget is, but I'm an affiliate with Chain Reaction, and they sell a lot of kink bikes. That's why I got signed up with them. But the way they sell them is a little bit more on their website. They're a little bit more expensive than they are on like other websites. Yeah, they don't even have the kink switch though. So yeah, on like the We the People Justice. I don't think the Justice is going to be the same quality as the Switch. It's going to be like, it's pretty good, but I don't think it's full chromoly. Let me check. Yeah, so it's only a chromoly front triangle. Other than that, I mean, the specs are the same and no free coaster. So the front triangle is not going to mess you up unless you're doing like spins. So if you can't fakie yet, I don't imagine you're doing any big 360s. So overall, that quality of the Justice is going to be just fine for you. The only thing is when you start to like throw tail whips, when you start to learn 360s, that back end's going to bend because it's high tensile steel. And that might be a problem for you, but it's not like right now, it's not a big deal. So if you want to get the Justice because you can't get the Switch, and then ride it for a couple years, you're gonna be fine, and then you can just upgrade. All right, Kev Sharpshooter, what's up, Kev? What do you sharpshoot? Serious question. All right, I'm 5'9", and my bike is 20.5-inch top tube. I'm a beginner, and I'm still learning how to bunny hop. Glad I watched your videos about BMX guide from beginner to pro. So far, I love them. Awesome. Glad you like the videos, man. I have a lot of fun making them. It gets a little overwhelming, but it's fun. So I don't think there's a question there. 20.5-inch top tube. Good. Tag me in something on Instagram so I can stalk you, see how you're doing. I love interacting with like my followers, so it's a lot of fun. Donthe man, what's up, dude? Dougster Bob, thank you. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun trying to stream. What would your first upgrades be on the 2021 Devotion? The front end feels super small. The Devotion's kind of interesting. Hold on, seeing if you actually followed me on Instagram. You guys like the new Instagram update? Did it update for you? I hate it. All right, what's up, Luke Smith? All right, anyway, my first upgrade's on the Devotion. The front end feels super small. I'm not sure why that would be. What do you mean? Like are the handlebars low? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. But my first upgrades, I would wait, okay? Ride the bike until... Doesn't Kink suck? Who said Kink sucks? I genuinely think Kink's like the best brand for quality to price. But why do you think Kinks suck? Hold on, I'm gonna go to the Devotion. We're gonna check it out. Yeah, I followed you, Luke. Thanks for the support. I love it. What color did you get in the Devotion? I think the white is sick, but not many people were able to get the white. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's my favorite color on there. Okay. I'm going to look at the specs real quick. Tag me in something, Elias, so I can follow you back. I know I just started this Instagram, and I didn't tell any of my friends to follow me or anything. I've got 77 so far. I have 3K on my other one, but oh well, I started a brand one for this one. Yeah, the white sold out so fast. So here's what I'd upgrade. If the bars feel really small for you, you could look at getting some bigger bars. You probably told me your height. I can't find it. 5'9". Go. Hold on. Yeah, so you might like 9.5-inch bars, but just stay with it, okay? Keep riding the bike how it is, and then wait a little bit because something might break, and then you'll upgrade it from there, if that makes any sense. But overall, the Devotion is like a really solid bike as it comes. And for your height, I wouldn't go much higher than 9-inch, which is what it comes with. A different thing you could look at, let me see the stem. The stem, if the stem's got a really short reach, it's going to pull the bars closer to the frame, and that might be making it feel weird. So I'm going to look at the reach on the stem real quick. If it's really short, like maybe upgrade it to a longer reach. Yeah, no, it's 51 millimeters. It looks pretty good. Yeah, dude, just ride it, and then once your style adjusts and once things start to feel weird, then you can look at upgrading. But I really wouldn't spend any money yet, if that makes any sense. Kevin hates the Instagram update. Yeah, I was like, I went to my notifications and it was a shop page, and I said, "What the heck?" Okay, what am I doing here? All right, I got you, Elias. Hope I'm saying your name right. Okay. Sabrosa Letum versus Kink Switch. Letums are crazy heavy. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I really like the Sabrosa Letum overall for the bike line. I think that Sabrosa's line, the Letum's one of the best ones in their line for sure. And the reason it's so heavy is because one, they have 4 hub guards, and then 2, they have 4 pegs. So I think it's right around like 30 pounds, right? So yeah, it's gonna weigh a lot with the pegs. The Switch has 2 pegs, and I'm 99% sure. I'm not 100% sure that the weight that they list is without pegs. Let's look real quick. Yeah, 29. God, I'm good. It was crazy from doing all these reviews. I have so much random bike knowledge in my head. Dang, they don't even say the weight. So one reason I have to love Switch is because I like when I was getting ready to write the reviews for the 2021, I emailed them and I said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, could you guys give me some more information on your bike so I could get ahead?" And Jake was like, "Yeah, dude, here you go." And since then, they've worked with me super good, and but I genuinely think their bikes are really good. But also the way they worked with me, I was like, "All right, this is a good brand." Like I've reached out to other brands and they don't even say anything. Makes me sad because I'm just trying to help them sell bikes, but the unsealed bearings really got to me, so I bought the kink gap. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand this, and it's what I try to point out in the reviews is that things like that really make a difference. My first bike was a DK Reaction, and I can't remember if it was the front wheel. I took it off and bearings went everywhere, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." So then I had to wait a week. I bought another wheel. I had to wait a week for the wheel to come in. And that's super annoying. 2, that shouldn't happen. So when I do these reviews, I'm like, "Guys, I get it. It's a cheap bike, but like, look, this is going to cause you an issue. This is going to cause you an issue." And I kind of feel bad calling out like the bad bikes, like Fit. I'll get to Fit. I saw that somewhere. But in the same sense, I've bought bikes before that completely fell apart, and there was nowhere for me to like research it and know if it was a good bike or a bad bike. So the only way to learn was to buy it and have it fall apart. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. Are the Fit Bikes 2021 any good? Ismail Estrada. It depends. Okay. So one thing that I think is really cool about Fit's line is that their bikes are set for different things. And what I mean by that is like they have the Fit Trail, the Fit Street, and the Fit Park. Now, each year their lines are getting simpler and simpler. And I don't really like that. Like if you look back to the 2019 Fit lines, they had so much more options. But I do like that they have specific things because it's really hard to find specific bikes especially for like beginner trail riders. So this is cool. But here's the deal. I think fits are just a little bit overpriced. And I have a friend that works over there, works for them. And I was like, dude, why isn't there any double wall rims? And he's like, well, we got to do that to keep the prices low. And I'm like, yeah, but Kink has like double wall rims and it's still cheaper. So I don't know, man. Overall, the answer, I'm going to say no. It's probably my least favorite line. Now, aftermarket parts are a whole different story. Fit makes really, really good aftermarket parts, especially like a lot of them are made here in the USA. And this is awesome. Okay. But they're complete bikes. The way their business model works is make cheap bikes that look cool. Okay. Kids buy cheap bikes that look cool. The parts break. So what do you do when a part breaks? You buy another part. And if your first bike is a Fit, which they've built up a really good brand for, chances are it is, okay, you're going to buy a part that's a Fit. And that's how they're making their money. Okay. So I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose, but overall, it's not in their best interest to make bikes that last, because when a part breaks, you buy a new part. And this is something that's really wrong with the BMX world. As you get more into it, you pay less for parts. Like the more connections you make friends at bike shops, like you pay less. Where the brand new people get ripped off, not ripped off, but they're the bulk of the BMX economy. And I'm probably like speaking too financial here, but it's a crazy thing. And like I'm trying to grow that base of the economy so that there's more money in it, so that you guys can get to the level where you can be sponsored and make money riding. Like right now, it's really hard for sponsored riders to make any money because there's no money in the sport, essentially. God, I just went off on another tangent, but that's how I feel about Fit. Hopefully their line 2022 will have some complete bikes with full chromoly, not tri-moly, and double wall rims. So we'll see how that goes. Kevin, thank you for following me. Deegan and Traben. Hey man, I'm a beginner. I love your channel. You deserve so many more subs. Deegan, here's the thing. Oh, Kevin did follow me. I'll follow you back, Kevin. Okay. What for you as a beginner, I was like, what can I do to help out? I just bought these LED strips. I have them around my whiteboards, but it's hurting my brain. I'm gonna turn them off. But anyway, I was like, what could I do to help beginner BMX riders progress? And what I came up with was BMX School. If you guys watched any of my other videos, you've heard me talk about it. But it's going to be a course. It's not all going to be free. And it's going to have all kinds of different how-to videos for tricks, but also for things like pumping and riding stance, riding bowls, riding dirt. Like it's going to have all this information to help you go from beginner to high level, where you can ultimately make money in the sport. But it's not BMX School anymore because I teamed up with a couple really good friends, and we're working. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but it's going to be crazy. We're meeting on Zoom weekly to plan everything out. I'm going to go to California in a couple weeks, and we're going to have it ready by March. So you follow me, you'll see updates. But that's something I'm super excited about for my beginner followers who love BMX and want to get better. So that's my plug there. Okay. 2-piece or 4-piece. I ride 2-piece, and genuinely, there's not much of a difference. The only real difference is 4-piece bars have like 4 points of contact where they're welded together, and therefore there's a higher chance, not a higher chance, but a higher probability of something snapping there. And I don't think it's that common. Now the other thing, they do look sick, and that's really the big thing, is it's all on your preference, how it looks. But as for feeling, 2-piece bars, okay, I started to make a video on this. Okay, 2-piece bars have one piece going like this, and then the crossbar welded together like that. Okay, now 4-piece bars have, how's it go? One piece like this, and a piece here, and a piece here. So the 2-piece bars are less stiff. And what I mean by that is that big long bar that goes like this, it kind of flexes as you ride. So you're going to notice when you come off a big drop or land flat riding park, it's going to absorb some of that shock. And they're built like this. It's not necessarily a bad thing because all kinds of metal has some give. Okay, so it's going to feel a little softer. Now, 4-piece bars have shorter pieces of metal there, so there's less room for it to flex, and they're going to feel a lot stiffer. And that's honestly the only difference other than looks. So just go off looks for your preference. Okay, so I'm going to end this at an hour. I'm at 56 minutes. I'm almost out of water, but I've got a whole list of questions over here that I grabbed from email and YouTube. But if you guys have any more, shoot them at me. What days should I do this? I'm thinking like Fridays would be fun. I'm going to do this every week, but I'm not sure what day to do. Groove Cow says, I'm 5'4", and I wanted to know if this Colt control is worth buying. I'm not really a new. I can do a few tricks. Should I get this? So size-wise, the Colt control is going to fit good for you. But if you can do a few tricks, it's really not that good quality. Colt basically only has 4 bikes, and they're not that impressive to me. The only one that is the Devotion. What I would recommend looking at is something like the Kink Gap or one of the We the People bikes. That'd be a little better for you. Just get something that's your size, like the 20.25 or 20.5 inch top tube. But yeah, if you're doing tricks, man, you don't want to get a bike that's going to break. And I don't think the control is going to last very good. Best bike for 500 is easily the Kink Switch, I think. Full chromoly, double wall rims, free coaster, hub guards, pegs. It's got everything, but it's mostly for street riding. But for 500, it's going to be either that or, yeah, that's it. That's the only one, because everything else goes up to like 540, 560. And yeah. Yeah, what I mean by extending the chainstay, let me find paper real quick. All right. This is where I write my to-do list every day. Okay. I don't know how to draw a chainstay. Okay, can you see this? So this is a chainstay, and this is where your bolt goes into the wheel. Okay. Now, at the center, okay, the Kink Switch centered. I got to draw that a little better. Centered is 12.75. Okay. I hope it's not backwards for you, but if it is, that says 12.75. Okay. And what I'm saying is this is your axle, right? If you put your axle out here and tighten the bolts here, you might have to add a link to the chain, make the chain a little longer. But if you move it out here to the very end, like it's gonna be fine. Okay. But if you move it out here to the end, it adds like a 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, whatever it is. And that's going to make the chain stay longer, because if you have your axle all the way up here, it's going to be shorter. But the 12.75 number that they give it is assuming that your wheel is right here centered in the chainstay. So like I said, you can move it out, you can move it in. Yeah, I mean, a bike shop could. Honestly, if it's not like a God, I put my light right here. I keep kicking it. if it's not a BMX specific bike shop, they're going to think you're on crack. They're going to be like, what? And they'll probably charge you a lot of money. So just DM me on Instagram when you get your bike, and I'll try and walk you through it, or help you out with it if you want. I can do that for you. I might be busy. I'll try and help you out with that. Okay. What do I think about the Anthony Panza bike? I think it's cool. It's gray. It looks good. It's the same as the Devotion though. It comes with 2 pegs and full Kamali double wall rims. It's a good quality mid-level street bike. Funny story. So I live in New Mexico. Okay. And I have a coworker. Well, I had a coworker. She lives in Hawaii now, and at Texas Roadhouse. And she said, I have a friend that I went to high school with, and my friend is he rides BMX. He's pretty good. And I was like, what's his name? She's like, you probably haven't heard of him. And I'm like, probably. I mean, if he's good, yeah, probably. And she said, Anthony Panza. I said, what? I said, Hannah, this guy is like, he's like one of the biggest names in BMX right now. And she said, well, I knew he was pretty popular, but I didn't know he was that popular. So she went to high school in New York and went to high school with Panza. And so we FaceTimed him right there. It was the funniest thing ever. I was like, dude, small world. So he's in Hawaii with Hannah right now, actually. Or he was a couple days ago. But I was like, bro, follow me. So anyway, I'll sell you guys his number for $50. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a cool bike. How much room do you need between a gyro? Oh God, honestly, man, I've ridden gyros one time in my life, and I know nothing about it. So as I build this channel and everything, I'm gonna learn more, so that I can help you guys out. But I don't know anything about gyros. No idea. Free coaster or cassette. So for me, Chris, I ride a cassette. But again, we talked about this earlier. It really is your style of riding and your preference. So if you like to do fakies, you want to ultimately learn tricks where you do like half cab bars, fakie bars, you know, all those different fakie tricks. A free coaster is going to be essential for that, because you're going to be able to learn those tricks. Where if you really like to do tire taps, 3 taps, and like pedal pressure tricks, you're not going to want a free coaster, because that slack is going to really mess you up, and it's going to make it a lot harder to learn those kinds of tricks. So you need to just figure out what kind of riding you plan to do and what kind of riding you actually enjoy, because those might be 2 different things. I thought I was going to be a park rider, and recently I've had a lot of fun riding street. So it does just depend, but you need to think about that when you're considering if you're going to get a free coaster or a cassette, because it really is preference. Here's the thing though. If you, BSD just came out with a hub. 2 of my friends both bought it. I'm going to look it up real quick just to tell you guys. I'm over an hour, but I will stay for a little bit and answer questions. Okay, hold on. What do they call it? The Revolution Hub. So BSD came up with the Revolution Hub. And what it is I think it's like the planetary hub that came out, but it's a cassette until you fakie. So as soon as the hub senses that it's going backwards a little bit, it switches over, and it's a free coaster. And then when you half cab, you go forward, it's a cassette. And what this does is this eliminates slack that most free coasters have. So that's something that I would buy and I would ride, because I hate the slack of a free coaster. I hate it so much. So my friends bought it. Yesterday was their first day riding it. And check that out, because you might really like it. So I'm gonna ride their bike. I'm gonna put a review on my website and talk about it a bit. But yeah, so that's the evolution of BMX is like going there to where we don't have to have that debate anymore. But the quality really isn't there yet. BSD might have done better, but I know they've been trying it for a while, and there's a lot of issues. So we'll see in the next couple months, like what kind of issues come out of this hub. Hopefully there's none, but you never know. Anyway, the Merit Billy Perry grips. I have no idea. Grips, look, the best. Merit is good. They're okay. Montana Ricky's an interesting guy. I'm going to look him up, though. Merit, Billy Perry. I like Billy Perry's YouTube. He's like the only YouTuber I ever watched. I don't watch. What do you guys think about LZ? I know he doesn't do BMX anymore, but he comes up like huge in the beginner BMX type stuff. So I don't know. What do you guys think? These grips look okay. They look really thin, and you're gonna run into this later when you buy thin grips or when you buy thick grips. It feels a lot different. So the first time this happened for me is I bought some stolen grips, and they were super thick, and I loved it, but then I couldn't bar spin. So you're gonna learn about different grip sizes. I had Ethic scooter grips, and they were super thick, but I actually loved them. But grips are really just a personal preference. In my opinion, I think the best grips right now are the Hoder grips, the S&M Hoder grips, absolute best grips. I taco my cassette wheel. Yeah, Chris, everyone likes tacos, but nobody likes tacoed wheels. Tacos are good. Tacoed wheels are no good. Which skate park? Here in Cruces? Yeah, he is a car guy now. It's I mean, dude, with the money he made, I know a guy that worked for him, and he was making like $10,000 a month from just YouTube. And this was before he had 1 million subs, and now he's over 2 million. But so yeah, he's a car guy. But if I had that kind of car guy money, I'd be a car guy for sure. That's crazy, huh? Crazy money. Dante's Jam. Oh dang. Good. Thanks for the support. I hope I follow you on Instagram. If not, I'm gonna feel bad. If I don't, tag me so I can. The OmniGuard sprocket. I think sprockets aren't like a. Chris, are you the one with the foam pit in El Paso? I think the OmniGuard sprocket, sprockets in general, there's nothing like too crazy different about them. For me, the biggest difference was getting a spline drive sprocket. This changed everything for me because I didn't have to worry about left-hand drive cranks, right-hand drive cranks. I could just put the sprocket on my 48 spline cranks and be good. And I didn't have any issues with that bolt loosening and then like wearing a hole in it. And oh dang, somebody has a foam pit over there, and I want to go ride it, but El Paso has lots of coronavirus, so no El Paso. Anyway, sprockets don't really make that big of a difference. I don't think. The different things are spline drive and then a bash guard. So I see this one has a bash guard, and if you're doing a bunch of different things where you hop up and you like stall and your sprocket could get in the way, or you do crooked grinds where your sprocket's banging on the rail, getting a sprocket like this is really good, but I don't know enough about it. I think they're all honestly kind of the same. Like Fiend has a sprocket with the guard, and they just replace. I mean, once you wear it down, you can replace it and you are good to go. Do you like to do grinds? Who was it? JP. You do any grinds, JP? Kevin, I was just thinking of that today. I went to Walmart for my LED lights, and I was like, oh, if I had money, I'd buy like $100 bike, take it to the park. And I wouldn't try to destroy it, but what I'd want to do is I'd want to see if it could actually hold up to different tricks. Like I'd try tail whips and 3 whips and trucks and everything I could on it, and then see no princess bike, and see if it could actually hold up, because I'm genuinely curious. I don't know if you guys saw that YouTube short I put on where I barred the Walmart bike, but that was sketchy. Like the tires were flat. I felt the rims hit the ground. And overall, it doesn't seem like a very solid bike. So I don't think it would hold up to any whips, but we'll see. One day, one day I'll do that for sure. Sunday 8 spline after. You're talking about the Sunday Saker cranks, aren't you? The Saker cranks, don't upgrade your cranks unless you go with something that's like 48 spline. Okay, that's going to be the game changer there. And I'll name a few for you, maybe, if source works. I ride Profile. Those are the cranks I ride. They're like a little over $100, but they have 48 spline, and then they also have a lifetime warranty. The thing is, I always forget to save my receipt, so when I break them, I don't get the warranty. So I've bought like 3 or 4 different of cranks, and I still ride them. I don't know why, because I break them. Next, I'm going to look at some demolition rig cranks. But in regards to your question, don't worry about like Colt Gateway stock or the Sunday Saker, because honestly, they're just about the same. The only difference when it comes to cranks is when you get something with 48 spline. And when you do that, pro tip, guys, make sure that you are doing either getting 22 millimeter cranks or 19 millimeter cranks. So it depends on your bottom bracket size. Most new beginner bikes are going to be 19 millimeter, but if you guys want to switch out and get some beefier cranks, get 22 millimeter. And that's what I'm riding 19 right now, but I'm going to switch over to 22. Yeah, profile cranks are good. They're really light, but I break a set at least every 2 years, if not every year. Just one crank arm snaps off, and then it's a bad day. But all right, guys, I have lots of questions here still, but I'm at an hour and 12 minutes. Overall, Elias, yeah, I'd say the switch over the Letum, especially because this other guy on here was telling me about how he broke his Malum handlebars, and the Malum and the Letum are pretty much the same quality. So anyway, we're at an hour 13. If you guys email me any more questions that you want me to cover in the next video, douglas@dougsterbob.com, and I'll see those questions. Like I said, I'm gonna try and do this every week. If you guys want to come hang out with me for an hour, I think I'm gonna do it on Fridays. I'm still learning how to work YouTube Live, but when I do, I'll like publish the live beforehand so you guys can get notified, or however it works. I don't know, but let's think about it on Fridays. We're going to do this. If you guys want to come hang out, real quick, JP hub guards. I never rode hub guards until I started doing more street, but I still grinded, if that makes sense. But buying hub guards, you're going to grind so much faster. And it's honestly, it is worth it, definitely. Not because it protects the hub, because I don't think that matters that much, but the way it separates the frame from like the peg, you're going to slide better, and that makes it worth it for sure. But all right, guys, email me those questions. Thanks for hanging out with me. I had a lot of fun. Follow me on Instagram if you guys want me to follow you back. And with that, Dougster Bob, okay? With that being said, guys, have a great night. Stay safe. Don't get corona. I'm trying to end it. I clicked the wrong button. All right, here we go. Bye.